Hey, everybody, it's Kelvin Shaw here, your career and business growth consultant. And I'm here with a special guest today, Toby Olawale, who is the co founder of the Three Skills and outstanding leader, business professional. And today we're going to discuss how to become the most hireable version of yourself. And Toby has some outstanding insights to share. So, Toby, welcome to the show. And why don't you just give a bit of insight on who you are and what you do?
Yeah, so my name is Toby, Nigerian-born entrepreneur, now based in Ottawa, Canada. During the day, I am a husband, brother, and merchant success manager at Shopify, and obviously the co-founder of Three Skills, founder of TPS Accelerator, and I'm really excited to be here.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much. I know you wear many different hats, and I appreciate the time that you've taken with us today. So, we want to discuss this idea, and we've talked about this previously. It's powerful thought, but how to become the most hireable version of yourself. How does one become more hireable? And you can even speak to the people that you have helped and network with and connect with.
Yeah, I mean, we started off pretty much thinking like, okay, there's all these people that graduate from school, a whole bunch of international students, uh, and they're struggling to get jobs or landing jobs at like these minimum wage places, right? Nothing wrong with those jobs, but after 100K spent on education, I feel like you should be making more money, right?
Right.
So we started looking at what did we do as the co-founders, all of us immigrants, what did we do that was so different that helped us get to where we were at the time? And as we thought about it more and more, we realized that the market was essentially the same, the companies were the same, the biases were the same, the all that stuff was the same,
Right.
but by learning certain things, we became extremely hireable, extremely employable, right? And so that's where we created our mission to create the world's most employable people, right?
Right.
And so when it comes to being hireable or becoming the most hireable version of yourself, it really comes down to a couple things. One is how easy it is for people to find you, right? Because the world is so busy. Like there's like 600 million people on LinkedIn alone,
Right.
right? So how easy is it for people to find you? The second is, who are these people? Do you have some sort of network, right? And then the third is, can you communicate your value? Can you
Mm,
actually convince someone to take a chance on you, right? And so, obviously resumes, LinkedIn are great ways for people to find you, right? You apply to a bunch of jobs, or you see, a posting on LinkedIn, or a recruiter on LinkedIn sees you,
yeah.
right? The other way is, 70% of jobs are never posted online,
Right.
right? And so, do you know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that's hiring,
Yeah.
right? And then the third is, after all that, even if you do get a foot in the door, even if you are able to land the interview, if you cannot communicate your value, if you cannot convince someone that you are the best candidate in the pool, it's going to be hard to get a job, right?
Right. No, that's huge. Oh, I love the piece, especially how to communicate your value to the market. I'll maybe in the end I'll ask you that because we're only going to be 10 minutes. Unfortunately, maybe we'll do an hour long one another time. But when it comes to these three things or other things, when say you're an international student or somebody maybe coming from a different country, you have so much certification, so much education, that's great education, but then you're trying to get into the Canadian market. In your experience, what is the most common mistakes people make when trying to really get into that dream job or the career that their education and skill set and background has lent itself to?
Yeah, so one of the first mistakes that we see is people forgetting that as human beings, we are completely adaptable,
Mm,
right? You're not an engineer, you're someone that studied engineering and worked
wow.
as an engineer. You're
Wow.
not whatever it is, a software developer, right? You're someone that has a background in software development, right? And so what what the first thing that, the three skills, right, where the name comes from is creativity, adaptability, and persuasion. Those are three
Mm,
skills that employers look for that nobody teaches, right?
right.
What does it mean to be creative when you're not in marketing, right? Can you be creative in the way that you approach a job, in the way that you interview, in the way that you follow up, right? Can you be adaptable, right? If you studied, like my co-founder, Anissa, she went to school to be a
Right.
teacher. She studied teaching. She was teaching. And then one day she just woke up and went, I don't like this. I want to be a marketer. And
Mm,
that revelation that you're a human being that is teaching, not just a teacher, right, allowed her to pivot into being a marketing manager at a tech company, right?
right.
And so that's one of the first things that I see people get stuck at. And the mistake that they make is they put themselves in a box because the world has put them in a box.
Wow.
But you don't need to be in a box, right?
Right.
And it's not like you're not just this, you are this and more, right? So that's the first mistake, the biggest mistake that I think we see.
That's extremely powerful. And if you're watching this, I would say take notes like ASAP. Who you are is different than from what you do. Now, if you can align them, great. But understanding the differences, Toby, these are powerful insights. And again, we're going to have to do a deeper dive because I know people are going to be messaging me saying, "Can we have more of this?" And we'll let them know how we get in touch with you. But if you're going to give one piece of advice for someone trying to fulfill their career potential, what would you say the keys are, or what would that advice be? That first thing that you would give to help somebody really reach that capacity and potential in where they're going in their career?
Yeah. So the advice that I give to pretty much everyone is you got to close the gap.
Mm,
You have to close the gap. There's three big things within that gap. The
right.
first is the knowledge gap. You don't know what you don't know. There are more job titles today than there have ever been in the
Ever.
history of the world. I just saw one. It was employer brand marketing content intern. Like you can't even Google that, right? And so what you don't. So the second gap is the network gap,
Yeah.
right? So I don't believe in networking. It's a very personal philosophy.
Yeah.
I believe in building strategic relationships,
I love
right?
it.
I believe you need to have people that will put your name in rooms where you don't even know the room exists.
Wow.
And that's very, very different from networking, where you meet this person, there's an exchange, there's a transaction, right? There needs to be something more than that. And so because 70% of jobs are not posted online, you need to close the gap and get in front of people, right? And then the third is the most important gap. It is the confidence gap. If
Mm,
you are not confident enough, and confidence is a skill, right? The more
yeah.
you practice something, the more confident you feel delivering it. So if you are not confident enough going into an interview, meeting somebody, telling your story, then you cannot inspire confidence for someone to take a chance on you,
Right.
right? And so that when I say close the gap, right, those are the three things within that gap that I find the people that have gotten to a place where they land a job that is super fulfilling
Yeah.
have closed those three gaps.
Say those gaps again in a row.
So there's the knowledge gap. You don't know
Yeah.
what you don't know. There's a
Yeah.
network gap. You don't know the people that control opportunities. And then there's the confidence gap. You got to learn how to communicate your value.
Toby, if someone is trying to be a part of the three skills ecosystem environment group, how is somebody going how can somebody do that?
So you can be a part of one of our programs, right? You can be a part of the Job Hunting Essentials or Project Pivot. We have a private Slack channel. We're actually launching a full-on community on June 1st, which is our 2-year anniversary.
Wow.
And so you'll get to be a part of the Slack channel. You'll get to be a part of, the group and just get access to so much coaching opportunities, and we'll help close all three of those gaps.
This has been outstanding, Toby, and I thank you so much. Again, we're going to have to come back, but this is some key insights on how to become the most hireable version of yourself. And I believe, and I know, and the proof is in the pudding. I can see, if I could say it that way, that if you follow these advices, these simple things right off the bat, you will increase your career and your business capacity. So Toby, thanks so much for getting in touch with us and sharing these insights. This has been powerful, outstanding. My mind is blown, and I'll make sure to put your details below for people to get in
Awesome.
touch with the network. And if you like this video, please share, subscribe, like it, and thanks so much for joining us to learning on how to become the most hireable version of yourself.